Let's get more on this. Speak to Tetiana Anderson, who is live for us in Washington. Tetiana, Trump was initially very firm on these tariffs, that all the nations involved would face a tariff, but he's now showing flexibility. What has been going on? Why has he been shifting his position?
Well, you're absolutely right. He has been flexible. It's something that he tweeted about earlier in the day, and it's something that he also talked about during a cabinet meeting that took place not too long ago. He talked about the fact that there will be a 25% tariff on steel and a 10% tariff on aluminum. This is what he said in the cabinet meeting, and he said that that level of tariff will go up or down depending on which country is actually involved. The president very clear that this is really all about fairness. We already know, though, that Canada and Mexico were looking at a 30-day exemption from this tariff, and that could be extended based on how the negotiations go with the North American Free Trade Agreement. All of this is likely happening, this flexibility that the president is showing, possibly because of all the backlash that he's faced over this particular issue. I mean, we already know that his Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense have asked the president to be a little bit more loose when it comes to these tariffs, because they say it could have huge implications when it comes to security. We also know that several Republicans, I think it was 107 of them, wrote a letter to the president basically asking him to show flexibility, because they say this could impact the U.S. workforce here. And of course, we already know that the president's National Economic Council chief has resigned over this very issue. And at that cabinet meeting today, we heard the president try to frame that resignation in a positive light. Let's listen to what happened.
This is Gary Cohn's last meeting in the cabinet and of the cabinet, and he's been terrific. He may be a globalist, but I still like him. He is seriously a globalist, there's no question. But you know what? In his own way, he's a nationalist because he loves our country. And where is Gary? You love our country. And he's going to go out and make another couple of $100 million, and then he's going to maybe come back.
Tetiana, as you say, there are those within Trump's own party who have not been on board with these tariffs. Is what he announces today final, or is there still further approval needed?
Well, these are, in fact, the president's final orders on this matter. We know that once he does place his signature on this proclamation, these rules will go into effect in about 15 to 30 days. But you're right, it will be interesting to see what the reaction is. We will have to see what U.S. legislators here do when he does sign that proclamation. It'll also be interesting to see the reaction that comes from around the world. Of course, these tariffs are a very polarizing issue, Malene, for many countries.
Okay, Tetiana, good to speak to you, and we're expecting a formal announcement from President Trump in about an hour. We'll, of course, have it live for you here on TRT World.